grim dark of the far future, there is only war. Throughout history we have seen untold horrors and misery inflicted on humanity by the forces of chaos and their associated ruinous powers, with trillions upon trillions of lives across countless worlds being decimated, enslaved or corrupted by the evil forces of chaos. Humanity fights a constant pitched battle against the dark tide of corruption that seeks to sweep across the galaxy, especially in the current setting with the opening of the Great Rift. But there are some amongst the Imperium of man who have been bred for countless generations with the sole purpose of driving back this threat, the Grey Knights. Greetings all, I am your guide, the Archivist. Today I will delve into the Grey Knights and their incredible abilities, what they are and why they are so adept at fighting the forces of chaos. Who are the Grey Knights? The archives hold a vast wealth of knowledge on the Grey Knights, despite their incredibly secretive nature in association with the general population of mankind. They are a mysterious chapter tasked with fighting the demons of the warp and are mankind's ultimate answer to the all forces of chaos may throw at the Imperium of man. Any of those who would wield the corrupted power of the Chaos Gods will be targeted and eradicated by the Grey Knights with brutal fervour and efficiency. They were created during the Horus Heresy by the Emperor of Mankind himself, and Malkador the Sigillite as the greatest weapon of mankind against all forces of chaos, in response to this horrific betrayal, carnage and death inflicted on mankind by the heresy. As a result of this specific task and in response to this betrayal, they are impossible to corrupt and break to the forces of chaos, and no Grey Knight has ever fallen to chaos as a result. The Grey Knights ultimately form part of the Inquisition, who have virtually unlimited license to scour the galaxy for demons and eradicate them without prejudice. They are the military arm of the Inquisition overall, the chamber militant of the Ordo Malleus, who are the demon hunters of the organization. They operate virtually completely outside of existence of normal people of the Imperium, being mythical or even godlike to regular Astartes. Their fortress monastery is located on Titan in the Sol system and has kept a complete secret from virtually everyone. The secret nature of the Grey Knights has been kept to the extent of assassination and mind-wiping of citizens to preserve their anonymity in the galaxy. All Grey Knights are extremely potent and effective psykers, having an incredible amount of power and are able to easily take out demons as a result. Despite this incredible power, the weakness would be obvious that psykers very often succumb to chaos because of their abilities, but in the 10,000 years of Imperial history, no Grey Knight has ever been corrupted yet by the ruinous powers, showing the mental will and fortitude of the chapter. Appearance. The Grey Knights are an ancient order that has persisted for untold generations, and as a result has built an intricate collage of traditions, origins and oaths that constitute the very meaning of what it is to be a Grey Knight. This heraldry and iconography is apparent throughout their appearance and how the Grey Knights present as a whole, with a rich background to their icons and patterns that they wear. Their armour, their weapons and their icons are all part of their history, and they all have a part to play in how they look. Red, white and black are the colours that appear on basically all Grey Knight heraldry, these being the original colours used by the Grand Masters that first became Grey Knights and gave up the colours of their original allegiance to join the mysterious faction. Depending on the heraldry presented, the specific battle brother may have performed an extremely heroic deed or task which warranted extra appreciation, like a Medal of Honour. In history, there have been at least 2 different colour versions that Grey Knight chapters use in their colour scheme. Early ideas show a black armour with silver gauntlets and shoulders, along with decorations and the chapter symbol in gold. However, the more common and modern version seems to be the steel grey or silver armour with gold augmenting certain areas for effect. This colour scheme is used by named chapters in the current setting, such as the Death Watch. Space Marines all have their own personal heraldry markings as well, which not only show personal accolades which may have been accrued, but also rank and role within the Grey Knights, which is displayed on a small shield on their left shoulder. The black, white and red colour scheme is often used for these, and for Battle Brothers and Justicars this will display their squad. Origins. According to the archives, the Grey Knights are some of the Imperium's most mysterious and powerful warriors, created in secret as a direct answer to chaos during the climax of the Horus Heresy, completely hidden from everyone's knowledge except the Emperor and Malkador himself. They were founded on the order of the Emperor in those tragic final days. He He knew he would have to face the treacherous son Horus, and that Chaos would persevere regardless of if he won the battle, and he would need to hatch a plan to combat the constant threat of the ruinous powers. As had already become abundantly clear, his great weapon, the Space Marines, had fallen victims to the temptation of Chaos, and perhaps as a result of his own failing and arrogance, he set out to give humanity a shield and a sword that could combat Chaos unscathed of its corruption, even before the power of the warp. Malcador stood up to this task by the Emperor, and formed the Order from powerful Psycho Space Marines, so zealous and unbreakable they could never be swayed for the forces of Chaos, but remained immensely powerful. Along with the fledgling Inquisition itself, their goal was simple: to eradicate Chaos wherever they could find prejudice. Supposedly augmented with the gene scene of the Emperor himself, advanced science and genetic experiments, they became far more than any regular Space Marine could hope to be. Powers and gear. Looking through the archives, we can see that the Grey Knights have some of the finest gear in the Imperium at their disposal, including many weapons deemed to be borderline on heretical in nature, amazing considering their purpose within the Imperium. The psychic power and pure will of the Grey Knights is one of their greatest weapons against the forces of Chaos that seek to defile the Imperium. Unlike other legions where their gene scene was descended from their Primarch, the Grey Knights did not have their gene seed passed down from their Grandmasters, but rather from a unique genome from the Emperor of Mankind himself, which was often referred to as the Emperor's Gift. This gift is often cited within the archive as the reason the Grey Knights are so pure in their devotion to humanity, as well as incredibly gifted in psychic abilities, much like the Emperor of Mankind himself. This design was intentional. As was mentioned before, there were no answers to the corruptible nature of the standard Astartes from the legions, which had proved to the Emperor their flaw in will through the Horus heresy. Their chapter had access to the finest equipment in the galaxy that the Imperium had to offer for their specialized task and role, and feature unique weapons and gear that have not been used by other chapters. Due to ancient pacts within the Adeptus Mechanicus, they are guaranteed only the most advanced weaponry available, often with devastating consequences for the enemies of man. One example of such a weapon is the incinerator, which uses a secretive material promethium mixed with the blessed and sacred oil in the flames to absolutely obliterate demons and the Grey Knights come across. Virtually all Grey Knight weaponry is blessed in this way, giving greater potency against the ruinous powers that they battle. Another powerful and potentially heretical weapon that the Grey Knights utilize is the Psi Cannon, which is an absolutely devastating heavy weapon armed with blessed bolts that fire at an incredible pace and speed, capable of literally tearing demons apart with silver bolter rounds, sanctifying and burning their flesh with every round that connects. Grey Knight equipment can vary depending on the specific purpose of the squad, but usually they have an incredibly devastating weapon designed for eliminating demons quickly and brutally. Melee weapons seem common amongst the Grey Knights, including legendary demon hammers, but their finest and most common weapon, which is most often used by the Grey Knights, are their force weapons, which are finely tuned to the user's mind and psychic abilities to make them incredibly effective on the battlefield. The Nemesis Force Sword is quite literally perfectly in tune with the psychic energy of the wielder, and as a result can slice through demons with a brutal efficiency and potency. Famous Grey Knights. The Grey Knights have countless characters in the archives that have had a huge impact on the setting of the galaxy up to the current time of M41. We will cover each of these characters in more detail in their own archive videos, but we felt it was important to mention some of the notable characters and their role in the Grey Knight lore. Supreme Grandmaster Kaldor Drago is perhaps the most well-known of the Grey Knights in history. The Grandmaster dealt many blows against the ruinous powers during his lifetime, including defeating Demon Prince Makar when he was just a normal battle brother. However, Makar placed a curse on him, and despite many great accolades and rising to the rank of Grandmaster in the intervening time, Kaldor eventually faced Makar again and was cast into the warp. The curse placed on Kaldor Drago kept him trapped in the warp, but wherever a demon draws upon its power, it also summons Kaldor to the fight, and he fights alongside his battle brothers again, until eventually he returns to the warp, ever to wander there. He does not die, but nor can he live in the material realm, and the day awaits when he will make his return. The other most notable Grey Knight is Supreme Grandmaster Janus. one of the first 8 Space Marines chosen by Malcador the Sigillite and approved by the Emperor to lay the foundation of what would become the Inquisition of the Grey Knights. Malcador entrusted Janus as the leader of the Grey Knights as Grand Master before he left to tend to his other duties, and Janus has been a great leader of the Grey Knights ever since, with untold battles, banishments, and other victories for the Grey Knights. But because of the shrouded history of the chapter, many official records are extremely secret, and tales have grown long in regards to Grand Master. However, it is said that Janus was originally the loyalist Thousand Son Sergeant Revior Lavida of the Corvidae, whose psyche was richly fused with the fragment of the soul of the Primarch Magnus the Red, left behind in the Imperial Palace after his attempt to breach its wards, and warn the Emperor of the Horus's treachery. And so I have now covered the content for this video, but if there's anything that has been missed, please share them down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, please remember to like the subscribe and like waypoints down below. In the grim dark of the far future, there is only war.